to me right now, and camera is rolling. This is the Radio Raheem Show. Got a brother from the community here, well known, and he's here at the PEP meeting tonight with the other brother here, my other brother here, photographer in the community, one of the comrades of our late brother in the community, known as Sonny Carson. Yes. Okay, my brother, you were speaking specifically about Kathy Black. Can you elaborate?
Well, most people don't know that Kathy Black, they don't know the history of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was found to be killing black and brown union leaders in Central and South America who were speaking out against them sucking up their resources, because the fight now is over water. And those resources over water, you can lower the water table and ruin which is basically the forest in there, the ecosystem. And they didn't want them to organize.
Okay.
Now, they also wanted, this is also trying to suppress wages. Now, the other thing is, for those who don't like people immigrating here, you shouldn't mess with their economy and give them low wages that they want to come here, because they know that, well, if I do this bottle washing job up here, they can get at least minimum wage, which is, you know, 1 day's minimum wage is equal to 1 week's wage in some places in their country, if not a half a week. Okay? So this is what's going on. Kathy Black ran Coca-Cola. When there are college campuses now that refuse to take Coca-Cola because they call it Killer Coke. They were killing people. Now, New York is made up of mostly black and brown children. All right? A lot of them are Latino and of Latino extraction.
Right.
You got a lot of them coming from Colombia, Nicaragua, etc. The same place where Kathy Black was killing union leaders. So you think she cares about these kids? And to me, you know, the eugenics comment, you know, is another piece. How you gonna? It's not a joke. You know, so my attitude is that Bloomberg is Dr. Mengele. You know, that Nazi doctor? This is an experiment on children. And Kathy Black is making these eugenic comments, so hey, she's carrying it out. The news media is like Goebbels in Nazi Germany. Goebbels the goose step to what, you know, Hitler wanted. See? And that's the connection.
This is what you feel is going on right here in New York City.
I more than feel it, because I've noticed, if you look at how, even shamefully New York won, how many times does Kathy Black get on versus any real opposition? Any real opposition. I don't mean somebody that comes on and uses 4-letter words and violates the FCC rules. I'm talking about that actually would put her on the map. All right? My attitude is, we're not against charter school parents, but charter schools is theft of public money. A charter school to me is a private school, is a parochial school, which is not allowed to have public money, which is also a yeshiva, which is not allowed to have public money. But you see what has happened, and people haven't made the connection. The Catholic Church, there's a lot of people, a lot of Latinos send their kids to parochial schools, thinking that they're going to get off, you know, with a better education. But they don't. They actually, in parochial schools, because of the religious doctrine, you get less in the sciences because it goes against the doctrine of belief. All right? So, that being said, you know that the fact that they got to pay off people because the priests were raping kids. So basically the Catholic schools have been shutting down because they got to pay off. This is real estate they got to give up. Their churches they have sold. And at the same time, the push has been for charter schools. A lot of kids from the islands, because their parents say, you know what, I don't want them in public school, they used to put them in parochial school. But parochial schools are now drying up. Okay? You even have, in my neighborhood in Richmond Hill, you have kids that have a Hindu background. They're not Catholic, but they're going to Catholic school just to keep them out of public school, right? But something strange happens when they get to, let's say, past the grade of what would be middle school. Strange things begin to happen, all right? And the other piece is that you have a two-tier society where, okay, they may know their ABCs a little better. One thing good about Catholic school when I went, before I got thrown out in 3rd grade, was your penmanship. They would drill you on penmanship. So at least you can read the kids' writing. They can write in script because you do these drills. Drills that are supposed to go in public school, but they stopped doing.
They don't do it no more.
And matter of fact,
you say handwriting is not going on, practices are not going on in public school.
Right. My son My son, I love him dearly.
So you say children are not practicing handwriting in school
That's
now?
right. I love my son dearly. And we had the big beef was on because they can't manage to handle the dexterity of handling the pen. It takes a while, and there's a special way to hold the pen. And one of the ways what happens with kids when they get tense, they tend to grab the pencil tight. And that hurts the muscles in their wrist and their hands. So they stop writing, or they put it down. There's a way to hold it, and one of those, those drawing lassos and stuff. We used to have just a notebook where we used to do these like penmanship drills of doing circles. And that's to develop the muscles in your hands. If you want to play basketball, you got to practice. You got to develop the muscles in your arms so you can reach the basket from half court. If you run track, you got to develop the muscles and the endurance to make it around the track or make it across when you run cross country. Take these skills away, which is what they've done. They basically, as I said before, this is like the IMF. The IMF, when it goes to a lot of foreign countries, and it's run by the U.S., they make harsh demands. The first thing they demand is, you want a loan, cut your public sector. Now, here's the trick bag here. There's no loan coming to our schools, but there are harsh demands, and they're cutting the public sector by gutting programs, gutting science labs. Oh, well, you know what? We got a science lab, but this faucet is broken. We could do it out. Tell the kids to pile up on the other one. Is that fair? That's actually unsafe. And if you had any kids like that were, devilish like some of the boys that I knew, in a science lab, well, gee, more of us around, we can make mischief. How do you make nitroglycerin? Somebody read, because, some of us would read books and try it. Now, that's not the thing you're supposed to try unsupervised. But they would do this. And the problem is because, again, of these cookie-cutter learning, instead of channeling in that energy and say, here's a kid that wants to be a scientist, let me get him on working on the new medicine to cure cancer rather than trying to blow up stuff. But they don't do this. So they punish the kid, they put him in a room, and a room by yourself. Like me, I used to get punished and sent to the library. And they sent me to the history section, figuring this would bore me. That made me kind of the worst enemy of a teacher because I came out the library with more questions. I would read the books. I'd look at the picture, but I'd say, I want to know what this is about. And I would read it. And that would make it worse.
In closing, how would you summarize within a minute or less?
Summarize?
The condition.
Condition-wise?
Yeah.
Condition-wise, the condition is...
What can we do with some solutions, what you see that works?
Well,
that we can,
one solution is to...
People are viewing this on the internet.
I understand.
Specifically,
specifically, we need to organize towards a general strike of at least 2 days. And it's a solution that will work. Most people don't realize that, which is why they have truancy cops. If your child is out of school, the school loses money. And the only way to make a rich person turn around and wake the hell up is to have them miss a few cents off the pile. And because Bloomberg got so much money, the whole thing becomes to them is not the amount, it's money, it's the pile. So we have to take that away and
okay.
And make the demands.
Make demands.
Make demands. And also,
y'all hear that? Make demands.
I have a book list. We need to do reading of progressive books. Now, you can contact me at theradicaleducator@earththink.net and just say I need a book list. I'm not selling these books, but I want folks to go to the library and utilize and discuss. In other words, if you hear, and carry these just around. So if the kid is using the N-word, stop the kid. And yes, you chastise him, but now fill the void with the book list. Send them to the library and say, the next time I come around, I need you to discuss Capitalism and Slavery by Eric Williams. That's the conversation that you should have, all right? This is when our kids begin to have these conversations and put down the iPods because they're lost in these little worlds by design. You see? And parents, we need to talk to your children.
Radical educator.
That's right. Don't be afraid to talk. If you see kids hanging on the stoop, talk to them. But I have a rule. Between 9 and 3, you're not allowed to sit on the stoop because the stoop needs a rest. You need to be in school. That's what you need to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Pleasure.
Radio Raheem reporting from Brooklyn Tech. You heard it. You got it straight. No chase.